It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. It's a Monday morning and this is your feel-good breakfast show, Expresso on SABC3. Now, there's an age-old adage that comes from an iconic pop song from the 90s that says, if you want to be my lover, you gotta get with my friends. And while, yes, getting into the good books of your partner's friends at the beginning of a relationship may be a good idea, many people do disagree over how close you should remain with them.
So today we are asking the following questions. How close should you get to your partner's friends? Or should you socialize with them or without them with your partner around? Or have you and your partner set some strict boundaries around socializing with each other's friends? Well, that's why we have relationship expert Paula Quincy with us to grapple on this hot topic. So if you have any questions or comments, please do give us a call. Our lines are open. It's 021-430-9881 and we will happily engage with you.
Great to have you here with us, Paula. Thank you so much.
Thanks. Good to see you all again.
So I guess let's take it to the very beginning of the relationship. Is it a good idea at that point in time to introduce the idea of socializing together? So my friends become your friends become my friends.
So in the beginning stages of a relationship, we're still trying to impress our partners. And part of that is having our friends accept our partner. So when we introduce our new partner to our friends, we're trying to see what they think, get their opinion, get their input, see whether they like the guy, the girl, you know, that kind of thing. So it definitely does help from a relationship point of view in terms of just knowing that you're on the right path and that this is the right person for you. And friends give us a sense of support. They give us a sense of safety. They give us a sense of they're there for us, you know. So in the beginning stages, it does help because you want everyone to get on and be like one big happy family.
Should you ever merge the different groups? So should I merge my circle of friends with my partner's circle of friends? Or should you keep it separate where, you know, we go here as a couple with this circle and then the next weekend we socialize with his friends?
So probably in the beginning stages of the relationship, it makes sense to do that as you're trying to establish the relationship and get into a more sort of solid foundation in your relationship. So socializing with your friends, then his friends, but as you move into much more of a settled routine and a settled relationship, so heading into more now the longer term side of the relationship, it makes sense to start blending and merging your friendships because it's now not you and me, it's about creating an us, a we, and ours, and friends are part of that.
Yeah, I think some people out there do like to draw boundaries, and once the relationship is off to a good gallop, do you introduce the idea that yes, it's cool for you to be friends with my friends, but to this point, but no further, i.e. don't have my friends' numbers on your phone, i.e. don't call my friends, that kind of thing. Is that a good relationship talk to be having? Is that a good foundation to be having in a relationship?
I think it boils down to trust. And you know, if you are good friends and if this is a settled and a really healthy long-term relationship, then why can't you talk to each other's friends? Because they now become our friends. But if you're putting boundaries down and going, I don't want you to communicate with my friends or have anything to do with them, the question is, well, why? Yeah. You know, you should be able to speak to each other's friends. Unless you're starting to spend more time with the friends than in your relationship, then there's potentially a problem that we need to look at.
Yeah.
Definitely. Well, we're going to be back with Paula. So if you've got a question or a comment, we would love to hear from you because how close should you get to your partner's friends? Should you ever socialize with them without your partner around? Or have you and your partner set some strict boundaries to when it comes to socializing with each other's friends? We would love to hear from you. Our number is 021-430-9881.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
All right, our telephone number is open 021-430-9881. In our relationship chat this morning, we're talking about being friends with your partner's friends and how does that weigh up in your relationship. Give us a call with all of your questions and your comments. In fact, we have a call on the line right now, Paula. It's Fez. Fez, good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Very well, man. Go ahead.
You know what? You can be friends with your partner's friends or whatever, but in my situation, previously, in my previous relationship, I had to divide up my friends because my friends couldn't get along with my partner.
Okay.
So it's not because of they didn't like her, it's just we sort of tend to prejudge people before the time. So a lot of the times that my friends would meet and like, you know, she's not the type of person I'd expect you to go out with, or, you know, and it's like, so you eventually came to a point where I would see certain friends that I would get along with on my own without her. Friends that we did get along with, we would organize a braai or a coffee date or a tea or something so that we can all socialize. But it makes it a bit difficult trying to divide yourself up because you think that, you know what's wrong with this person? But then at the end of the day, you know what, with me, what you see is what you get.
Yeah. Faiz, can I ask a question? You were talking,
Yes.
I think you said this was in your previous relationship, right?
Yes.
Did the relationship end as a result of something friend involved?
No, her mother got involved in our relationship too much.
Okay.
Which is a whole nother level and another discussion for another day. But thank
Yeah.
you for sharing with
Totally.
us, Faiz. But that's a very relevant thing. And some people like Faiz do that, knowing that not all your friends get along with your partner. You choose to hang out with certain friends at a certain time and hang out with your partner, with your friends at another time. Is that advisable?
So I think it depends on what the dynamics are that are playing out. You're going to have situations where you're not going to like everybody, you're not going to get along with everybody. So instead of forcing everybody to be together just because you're having an occasion where all the friends are invited, you may need to manage the situation, the dynamics by separating those kind of friends and then mingling with them separately, but getting to spend time. And I think it's about finding the balance, you know. How do you balance spending time with each other's friends equally or jointly, especially those that get on well together or have common interests, and or spending time together as a relationship?
Okay. Well, Paula, one of the questions we've been posing this morning is it acceptable to hang out with your partner's friends without them being around? What is your take on that?
So again, it depends on the relationship and the type of friendship. As long as there is openness and honesty and transparency, you know, for example, your friend is out of town and your friend is on their own, and so you agree to meet up and to have dinner, and everybody knows about it. But when you're doing things behind your partner's back and they don't know about it, then that for me is a big red flag and a question mark as to why.
Yeah.
You know, it's different if it's your friend and your partner doesn't get on with this person, that you respectfully allow each other to spend time with those friends because they are your friends after all.
Yeah.
Can we talk about how perhaps you get to that point of trust, openness, and transparency when you want to say to your partner, hey, listen, I would like to hang out with your friends that you introduced me to, but in the space of time, we've become very good friends. Are you okay with that? Is that as simple a conversation as that?
Absolutely. I think it's about sitting down and having those mature conversations and agreeing to disagree respectfully and all respecting each other's boundaries and each other's needs. So if your partner is not comfortable with you doing that, then you need to respect that and honor that boundary. Otherwise, it is going to cause problems in your relationship.
Okay. Well, we're going to have more with Paula Quincy, our relationship expert this morning. Our lines are open. Please give us a call. That number is 021 430 9881. We would love to hear from you.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. We are talking relationships, and we have Paula Quincy, our relationship expert, in studio this morning. And the topic is, can you be friends with your partner's friends? And it's becoming quite an interesting topic because there are so many different facets and dynamics to it.
Absolutely. You know, with some friends, we can tend to be a little bit jealous about the relationship that either our partner is forming with them because they were our friend first. So, you know, why do you want to be friends with my friend? They're my friends. And so we can become quite territorial over our friends.
Yeah.
We could also feel a little insecure in our relationships. You know, if our friends are getting along better or our partner's getting on with our friends, but, you know, what about us?
Yeah.
And so I think really it is about finding the balance and being respectful of those boundaries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm going to ask one more question. How do you put your partner's mind at ease to reassure them that, I get along with some of your friends, nothing's happening? Is it possible to do that?
It is, but as I said, it really does boil down to transparency and openness and respecting each other's space. If you're doing things behind your partner's back and they are not aware of it, that can cause problems.
Yeah.
If you have not discussed the boundaries, that can also cause issues. And if you're not communicating with each other in terms of, well, why you enjoy spending time with that friend, what is it about the friendship that really, appeals to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's an obvious no-no to go behind your partner's back and socialize with their friends without their knowledge, because obviously that creates distrust. What happens if you catch your partner in that act, so to speak?
Yeah.
So you find out that they are now hanging out with your friends, they haven't told you about it. How do you, as the offended party, act? and vice versa?
So I think first of all, understanding what is it exactly about this that you are offended about? Is it the fact that your partner wasn't being honest with you? Is it the fact that you're feeling betrayed? Are you feeling hurt? Are you feeling angry? So start acknowledging your own emotions first and when you're at, and then having that discussion with your partner and what it is about their actions and their behavior that has hurt you. And then what you would like or need from your partner going forward in terms of managing the boundaries when it comes to friendships and socializing. And because how would you like it if the roles were reversed? Would you do that to your partner? So you can't expect your partner to do something that you yourself are not prepared to do.
Yeah. Well, we have a caller on the line. Robin, good morning.
Good morning.
What is your comment or question for Paula?
What do you do if your friends do not get along with your partner because they think your partner is just like your previous boyfriend?
That's a very, very relevant question. So, like Faye said, prejudging people.
Yeah, and you know, we all judge, whether we like it or not.
Yeah.
And some people say, I never judge, but we do. Within the first 30 seconds, we have judged already. So friends always have our best interests at heart. They always want what's best for us, but sometimes they can be biased, and so we need to take that into account. But if they are continually saying the same things about us and our boyfriends or relationships or partners, we may potentially want to take a little bit of heed of that, because sometimes they can see things that we can't necessarily see. So for example, our blind spots. So they can give very good input to our relationships and our behavioral patterns as well. So I think it's looking at who you surround yourself with. We call it circles of influence. And what is the type of influence they're having on you? Is it a positive influence or a negative influence? And are they being really fair in their judgments or their input, or are they being one-sided?
Okay.
So is this a conversation then that you have with your friend after they've said, let's say, like for instance, in her case, that he's just like your previous boyfriend? Do you then sit the friend down and say, well, tell me, in what way do you see it so that maybe my eyes can be opened so that you can then make better judgment?
Absolutely. And it's about, getting that input, constructive input. And then we always have a choice. So now that I've got this input, what am I choosing to do with it? I can choose to disregard it and carry on and see where it goes. Or I can look at it really from a different perspective and go, well, maybe there is a little bit of truth here, and what do I want to do with that information?
Okay. Well, we're going to be back with one final session with Paula. So if you've got a comment or a question with regards to your partner's friends and being friends with each other, give us a call, 021 430 9881.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
So let's talk about it. Relationships with Paula Quincy, and about the fact that is it fair, is it okay for you to be friends with your partner's friends? We've gone quite a way in the conversation so far, and of course with your comments and questions on 021 430 9881. So Paula, I guess the next thing is, if you and your partner feel it is necessary to draw boundaries regarding your friends, what's the best, fairest and healthiest way to do it in your relationship?
So I think a lot of the time we talk about the what and not the why. So for example, I don't want you to see my friends without me. But that doesn't tell us the why. And when we understand the why and we go deeper there, it's much easier for us to empathize and to sort of step into our partner's world and be there and support them, and then respect those boundaries and those requests. So I would say have the open conversation, sit down and explain really what it is about these boundaries, why they're important to you, what that is going to do for you if your partner upholds those boundaries versus if they break the boundaries. And then how do you go about establishing those boundaries and adhering to them going forward?
I guess the follow-up question that I have to this is, when should you be having this conversation? In the very beginning, before anything happens, or when you anticipate that it's going to happen, or
when you start
when it
noticing
happens?
it's happening?
When do you have the conversation?
You know, and it's a difficult one, because friends come in as the relationship gets more and more established. So in the beginning stages, you would potentially keep your friends separate, because you're trying to, friends also add views and opinions, and we wanted to see how our friends handle our new partner and or how our new partner handles our friends. But as we start moving into an established relationship, we start merging and blending our friends, and we start socializing a lot more together. So I think as and when a situation starts arising and you're feeling something about a particular event or a situation or a friendship, is to have that conversation there and then with your partner. Don't let it drag out. Don't let it become a big issue.
Well, Paula, I've heard friends joke about, where a couple has broken up and, for example, they keep some of the partner's friends in the divorce. They always, joke about it, they kept me in the divorce.
Yes.
But how do you go about, when the relationship comes to an end, to, handle that in a mature manner of now who's friends, if you've both become friends with each other's friends?
And I think that's the key word, handling it in a mature manner, because at the end of the day, you shouldn't be putting your friends in a compromising situation and forcing them to choose, especially if it's been a long-term relationship, because you've all shared events, memories, occasions together. You've been part of each other's lives, so you can't pretend that that didn't happen.
Yeah.
So the mature way is to allow your friends to feel free to interact with whoever they would like to. Over time, it may fizzle out and go back to the friendships that it was before the relationship came in, or it would be able to settle into a routine where you respectfully see those friends, but you don't talk about each other and share what's going on in each other's lives. You respect those friendship boundaries.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, Paula, for being with us this morning. Always appreciate your time and expertise. And of course, we all love kicking back and enjoying our time with friends. But I think the takeaway from this morning's conversation is openness, transparency, and of course, be honest with your partner up front. Have these mature discussions, of course, because they do influence your relationship. Friends are part of our lives. And thank you so much also to our callers for your valuable contribution.